That or
Again,
not.
I don't know if you want to take a prize here. You don't want to walk into Twins. Maybe you give Ross everything he needs if he has access to Twins. A big part of Ross's deck is, can he set up through Twins? And if he doesn't have access to it, his deck really only has what for draw power? He has Sage, Copycat.
And one Professor Oak's New Theory?
Does he? I don't know.
Yes, I believe so.
So, not a whole lot. And if Sami can keep his hand size low, he eliminates Copycat as an option. But it looks like he's going to Magnetic Draw. Looks like they have a dispute. Ross didn't notice that Sami played the energy already.
No. He had a 5-card hand.
Yeah, so he's just
Okay.
drawn to 6.
Okay,
Sami,
cool.
not very happy that Ross pointed that out, but oh well.
Now, well, at this point, I don't believe we saw a second Oddish or an Oddish on the field on Ross's side of the board before his board went dark. So I think he's still, or at least at one point, he only had one Gloom in play. So if he doesn't have an Oddish in play, then yeah, it would definitely hurt the Gloom.
Yeah, and I don't know if Sami used Spray Splash on Solosis last turn, but I think he did. He probably just put it to 20. So next turn he could get a double knockout if Ross's board doesn't advance anywhere. But there's a lot of cards he can draw to evolve something.
Yeah, no, it's only 4-card hand, so it really isn't all that many cards that he can draw. He can draw a Communication and a Pokemon. He can draw the actual Pokemon, or he can draw a Rare Candy and the Stage 2, so not that many options.
Yeah, and Sami, he's got everything he wants. Oh, looks like we had some confusion here. Looks like Sami used Linear Attack, but he had Cleffa active.
Yes. Now, at that point, the judge can rule either way. He did enter the attack phase, but obviously Cleffa can't linear attack. Cleffa can only cry. So Cleffa's got to retreat, and the Yanmega's got to be active. It just depends on whether the judge is going to let him out. So at this point, they're trying to figure it out. And to be honest, to be perfectly honest and frank, I believe that the Yanmega should be allowed to attack because Cleffa can't linear attack. I mean, if Cleffa could, at one point in time, linear attack, then I would rule it in Ross's favor. But obviously, it can't.
Right. Ross's side of the argument is that Sami is entering the attack phase. He's announcing his intent to attack. He says linear attack, and then we notice, oh, Cleffa can't use linear attack. So Ross is saying, you've already announced your attack. You can't use that attack, so you've already entered your attack phase. Either you use its other attack, or, well, its only attack, and you either do that or you pass. But obviously, like you said, there's no linear attack on Cleffa, so if I just randomly shout out Hydro Pump, does that mean I entered my attack phase when my Pokemon doesn't have that attack? And I think that's what the judge is trying to tell Ross, and we should see Sami be allowed to retreat and use linear attack.
Yeah, now obviously that's a debate for another day. We're not here to discuss morals or anything else in Pokemon, but if whatever the judge rules here is what's going to happen. So we're just kind of waiting to see what the judge decides to do.
Yeah, this has to be a pretty heated argument with so much on the line. Just with all the pressure right now, time's winding down. So much.
Yeah.
There's this match means everything.
Yeah, that's actually very true. I really didn't take into consideration the fact that time's running out while they're arguing this. It's got to be a solid 2, 3, maybe even 4 minutes that they've been arguing this for. And man, you're looking at the number 1 seed, Sami Sekkoum, 7-0. He's undefeated. He's like, hey man, just let me. I really want to advance. I was a finalist 2 years ago or something like that, 2 or 3 years ago. And I want to get to the finals again. And Ross is like, well, so was I, man. And, both these guys don't want to budge. And now it's up to the judge to decide who gets the last laugh.
Well, it's looking like they're allowing Sami to promote Yanmega and use linear attack. From what I understand, they're basically saying Cleffa doesn't have linear attack. So if you just shout out a random attack that your Pokemon doesn't have, you're not actually entering the attack phase. So, your turn's still fine. You can retreat and use Yanmega. So that's what happened.
Okay, and now we see...
Seeker.
Is that a Seeker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe on Solosis? I don't know.
Yeah, that would be a good choice since there's 20 on it already from Kingdra, I would assume. Either that or use it on Gloom. I don't know.
I mean, you don't want to do it on Gloom. Your Oddish has 40 HP. That's terrible.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it was, but...
It was on something. So now at this point, the Seeker's just to get rid of the Spray Splash damage, make sure your opponent can't take 2 prizes the following turn.
Yeah, he also attached Double Colorless to Zekrom. And we're just going to wait this out because we cannot see anything Ross is doing.
Now, Sami did that little finger movement going like, hey man, go, go, go. I don't care, just do it. And he even moves the Cleffa for him.
Yep.
He puts that Cleffa in a paralyzed position for him. And Ross is shuffling and drawing 6, I believe.
Yeah, Sammy's got to be careful not to get too heated here. If he lets Ross's slow play get to him, he's going to make some mistakes. He'll start going on tilt. That's not something you want to have happen. You have to keep a cool head in this situation. So, hopefully it doesn't get the best of Sami.
So there is no Vileplume in play yet because we saw a communication.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that was a Magnezone that went into the deck. And hopefully we see a Magnemite. Yep, that's a Magnemite. Man, I'm good at this game.
Yeah.
That should be me up there.
Way to pick out the most obvious play and give yourself praise for it.
I wouldn't be Crims if I didn't. All right, so
way to go.
Now he still might have an extra turn to be able to get that. Whoa! What's going on?
So.
Oh no! Don't tell me this happened. Oh, good. God. Okay, so what ended up happening, I believe, is he must have done a Spray Splash knockout and a knockout at the same time and tried to take 2 prizes at the same time. That's the only thing I can think of. Because he tried to get 2 prizes and then they stopped everything. And I knew that he was possibly within a Spray Splash knockout.
Yeah, it looks like what happened was Sami used Spray Splash to put 10 more damage on Solosis.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And Sammy's still trying to do it. And the judge is telling him no.
Well, here's what happened. He used Spray Splash, knocks out Solosis, and he also announced Linear Attack, so he went to take those 2 prizes at the same time. However, once he uses Spray Splash and takes the prize, they're no longer even in hand sizes, so he announces Linear Attack, which Yanmega does have, but he doesn't have the energy required to use the attack. He's entered his attack phase. And that's it. His turn ends. He can't attack.
Oh, man. I know you can't see this right now, but I have my hand over my head just like shaking it. Oh, dear. These are the mistakes that you don't want to make, man. These are the mistakes that you want to be able to think out because, geez, all you have to do is follow procedure and you won't mess up. You follow procedure. You take your prize when you're supposed to. You count your hand. You count your opponent's hand. You make sure that everything's good, and then you take your prize. Then you attack. But no, he decided to do too many things at once, trying to rush himself, and here we are now. I believe that the judge is not going to let him take this one back, because this one he rightfully shouldn't be able to.
Right. The situation for this one is,
Here.
If you get in this situation, your opponent can allow you to take it back if they want to, but Ross did not. He saying, no,
Which is perfectly fine.
You made a mistake, own up to it, this is the World Championships, you shouldn't be allowed to take this move back. So, looks like Sammy's only going to take 1 prize instead of 2.
Yeah, which is perfectly acceptable, to be honest. And this is just my opinion. I wouldn't ask to take back that move, and I wouldn't let my opponent take back that move. It is the World Championships, and you are expected to be, to not make those mistakes. So I can definitely understand Ross making that play. Now, Ross's Pokemon Cleffa stayed asleep, or paralyzed, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. And he decided to eek, or not eek, but a copycat, essentially. I believe he had like a 7-card hand, did Sami. So he gets a fresh 7, and maybe he'll get a Vileplume out of that, because he really needs it to be able to stop Sami from taking these prizes. Remember, he's on a 4. He doesn't have to take 6 prizes this game. He only has to take 4. So very, very doable.
Well, It's looking weird. I don't know how much time Sami has left here with all the stuff that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, the bad part, too, is that all these arguments, they take up a lot of time, man. Yeah. I mean, honestly, about half this game has been taken up in arguments.
Right, so I'm sure they'll get some sort of time extension, but I'm not sure how long that really... Oh, looks like they're starting the +3 right now, so Ross will be turn 1. So Sami only gets one more turn.
Already?
To take 2 prizes, yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, so this game must be over then, because if that's true, if this really is the +3, the beginning of the +3, then he's got to take 2 prizes in one turn, and without... Yeah, I mean, obviously we can't see Ross's side of the board, but unless Sami can take a prize with Spray Splash, it's not going to happen.
No,
man, that mistake really came back to bite him.
There's only 10 on that Cleffa, so he's going to be 10 short, and I hate to say it, but that mistake cost him the game. He just moved too fast. He let the time get to him, got in his head, and he's going to be eliminated from this tournament just for that small little error.
Wow. Doesn't stop Sami from being a world-class player. Doesn't stop Ross from being a world-class player. Both of these guys played really well, and, I mean, you can't be expected to not make a mistake when you only have so much time, you know? You're going to have to make fast plays, and mistakes are part of the game. Mistakes, especially when you don't have very much time to think out your plays, they're going to happen, and unfortunately they happen at the wrong time for Sami.
Yeah,
now, clearly the game isn't over yet because obviously Sami's still playing it out. He must think he's got some sort of hope.
Well, I don't know if there's a way out, but he's just playing it out. Maybe he's hoping that they'll get a time extension or something. I don't know, but...
I mean, they must have already had a time extension. That's got to be what happened because, I mean, they definitely argued for a little while.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's just going through the motions. He's not going to give up for no reason. And, I mean, it's unfortunate to see someone lose this way, but hey, you can't make mistakes and hope to get away with it.
Oh, man. There's a handshake. Sami only took 3 prizes. Obviously, he could have taken 4, but he didn't because of that Spray Splash mistake. And this game does not count, and the handshake makes it official. Ross Cawthon advances to the top 8, and Sami Sekkoum, his 7-0 run, undefeated Swiss run, ends here at the top 16.
Wow. What can you say about this? I mean, Ross...
You know what I can't say? I can't say that this game was amazing, man. I mean, Ross's deck is the real deal one more time. And Sami, even though he was, a little rushed, he played great, and so did Ross. This is a great game to watch. I'm excited to have casted it.
I know, but just to give you an idea, Sami, 7-0, he's the powerhouse, crushing through all the Swiss rounds, definitely the favorite to win the tournament. Goes up against Ross, who goes 5-2 on the day, barely squeaks in at 16. Playing a deck he just built a few days before the event started. It's playing a card that was only released the day before Worlds, and he wins. He moves on to top 8. What kind of a story is that?
That's a Cinderella story is what it is, man. That's great. It's great for the game. It means that innovation is not dead, and let's see how far Ross can advance in these World Championships.
Hey, if he keeps playing this well, sky's the limit.
All right, well, looks like that's it. Looks like Sami's run's over, Ross's run continues, and this is the 2011 Pokemon TCG World Championships. I'm Crims.
And I'm Pooka. Thanks for watching.